And what's going on, you guys? What is going on? What is going on, y'all? This be your boy, Scotty by Nature TV, and we're here for a brand new review of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 11. What is going on, you guys? I hope you guys have had a wonderful, wonderful Sunday, a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I have done the exact same thing. What is going on, you guys? I could not wait to get here and talk about tonight's episode with you guys. I really enjoyed this episode. I have a whole lot of commentary to give on this episode. For those of you who don't like for me to bring in my life experiences to my reviews, this may not be the review for you because there's a lot that I can give um a lot of feedback into because I've seen it or I went through it before. So this is one of those reviews where I can inject some of my personal story into why my opinion is exactly what it is. So if you're not that type of person that because that be the running theme that Scotty talk about himself too much in reviews. But if you're not that type of person that likes that, then that may not be for you tonight. Okay. First things first, shout out to my moderators that's in the building. We have a new moderator up in here. Brandon is one of my newest moderators. As I told y'all before, we're cleaning house just a tad bit with the moderators. I have a whole lot of them, but then I got a whole lot of them that are inactive. So I'm just gradually, trying to get it together. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, so y'all know I started the 5 minute mark. So let's see. On tomorrow, we have the Whether You Like It or Not panel where we talk about nothing but the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And if I'm not mistaken, it should be over on Really B's platform. It's either Really B or Yas. I'm not really sure, but I think it's going to be on Really B's platform on tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. This week, we got the Basketball Wives panel again, y'all. We're going to be on Jamie's panel. We're going to be on Jamie's page on Wednesday. It's going to be me, T, and Jamie because Josiah will not be in town to do the panel with us. So it's just going to be us three this Wednesday. We'll definitely be on Jamie's channel this week, this Wednesday. And speaking of course, we got the Basketball Wives on Tuesday afternoon because I'm gonna be out work, so I can get y'all a review a little bit early than I normally would, y'all. Okay, so those are the things that I needed to remind you guys of at this particular moment, you guys. But yeah, your boy's doing good. I'm in a great mood. Kind of getting my rest back up. Tomorrow my last day of work until I think it's Thursday. So I'm gonna be resting and resting and resting. Of course, I'm gonna be giving y'all some content, but I'm definitely gonna be taking out the time to sleep in, get a little bit of rest, and do what I need to do, honey. Okay. It's 151 of you guys up in here already, and I love that. If you haven't shared the video, go ahead and do so. If you ain't liked the video, go ahead and do so, because y'all know I try my best to give you guys the best show in the world, y'all. Let me see here. What we got going on here? I don't know. I'm just in a great mood. No matter what, I always find myself to try to be the best Scotty by nature that I could be for you guys. I have a whole lot going on, but I can't wait for you guys to support everything that I got going on, y'all. So yeah. And y'all gonna be getting some story times from me soon. Trust and believe me, y'all gonna be getting story times from me soon. Thank you for loving the Superman. Listen, I remember when Lil Mo came out when I was like 11 years old, and she had the song Superwoman, and I wanted me a Superman shirt or a Superman jacket because I wanted to be like her. Because she said she was Superwoman, so I wanted to be Superman because she was Superwoman, and I was the biggest Lil Mo fan back then. Lil Mo was like Beyonce to me back then. Couldn't nobody tell me nothing about Lil Mo. So yes, honey, so I'm glad I got my Superman jacket, honey. Okay, but anyways, it's about that time, y'all. We at the 5 minute mark. So let's go ahead and get into the review. Before we do, let me shout out my moderators that's in here. We got Harold, we got Q, hey JB, we got Norris, we got Sharice, Brandon. I think those are all the moderators that we have up in here tonight. So we're about to go ahead and get into it. And as you guys know, I keep my notes in my phone, y'all. Keep my notes in my phone, and these are my notes right here. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we're gonna open it up with Angela and Charles, y'all. Now, here's the thing with Angela and Charles. Now, first things first, they got them a confessional together, and I don't think that Charles understands what the fuck a united front actually means. Because looking at him in this scene with Angela and shit like that, it really came across like he really didn't want to be there. And it came across like he really could give a fuck about, being there and trying to, hold up her end of the bargain, because she talking about, oh, this is our love language. This is our love language. And it's like every time she said something, it just seemed to me like Charles was just disputing every little thing that she said, like she was sitting up here lying. So the way that everybody say that Drew was a liar, I'm wondering if everybody feel that same way about Angela, since she's everybody's new favorite at this particular point. I mean, I'm just saying, I just feel like Charles really literally lives to embarrass the shit out of Angela, to be quite honest. Like, that's just what it gives to me. That's just what it gives to me. Like, it gives that I'm going to embarrass her ass. And sometimes I sit here and I be watching the episode and I just cringe to myself, because I'm like, girl, he's embarrassing you. The reason why I'm saying that is because I've been in predicaments where I've sat back and I'm like, this nigga is really embarrassing me right now. And I don't know what to say, because I'm literally fucking embarrassed. I really don't have no words, because I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. I'm just fucking embarrassed. So that's just how it comes across when I'm looking at Angela and Charles. It low key just gives like he don't really care about. He act like he don't like Angela, or he acts like Angela gets on his fucking nerves. It's one or the other. Trust me. Angela says that she needs to talk to her sister after the whole confrontation with Amari. Now, what I have noticed is that they bleep her sister's name out, and they also blur her photo off the picture. So it's Angela and her sister beefing real bad, to the point to where they can't even say her name. They can't even show her face. Like, she don't want nothing to do with nothing that Angela got going on. Hey, Too Feisty. She ain't got nothing to do. She don't want nothing to do with Angela and what the hell Angela got going on, because that's what is given to me. Okay. Now, I do think that it's more to this situation with Angela and her sister than this Amari situation. Okay, they got into it about the car, but what other situations have gone on? Because I feel like there's been more that has happened in this situation with her sister. I think that they probably been feuding for a long time, and her mother never stepped in. Because that goes on in these sibling rivalries a lot of the times. You feel what I'm saying? Like, even with my own sibling rivalries, like with my brother on my dad's side, you know what I mean? He always call me and be like, have you talked to your brother? I'm like, I don't talk to him. And then he always say, well, you're the oldest and you need to do this. Oh, absolutely not. That's not going to be the thing. You're the father. So why aren't you facilitating? You want your kids to get along. You want your kids to talk. So why aren't you facilitating? Because, to be quite honest, you're a part of the reason why we can't get along, or we can't really have a relationship, because you didn't raise us together. So that's the point. That's the problem. So I feel like this is years of shit that's going on between Angela and her sister. And I think that is just coming to pass with this whole situation with her daughter. Um, she says that her sister doesn't appreciate her or any of the things that she's done for her sister. And I also can relate to that as well. I've done things for my sisters, I've done things for my brothers. And the only person that appreciates the things that I've done for them is my baby brother. That other brother that I was referring to, he's never even given me 5 cents, two nickels to rub together whenever I was going through a hard time. But whenever he needed something, he always called me or whatever. When we had to do shit to get our dad a Father's Day gift, I was the one that put in the money for it, and nobody paid me back. It's those type of things. They don't appreciate the shit that you do for them. And a lot of times we sit there and we continue to do these things for these people because they're our sisters, or they're our brothers, or they're our mothers, or they're our fathers, and they don't show the appreciation that they need to show. And I feel like when it comes down to that, once you start feeling unappreciated, as Cherish would say, it may be time to walk away from these relationships, whether or not that's your brother or your sister. Sometimes peace and understanding is way better than dealing with family dysfunction just because they're family. And that is exactly where I've been since I moved to Atlanta. And I think moving to Atlanta pretty much helped me out quite a bit, because I'm 6 hours away and I don't really have to deal with this shit head on. So I think that with Angela dealing with her sister and all that other stuff, I really feel like that is just what it is. You got to take out the time to think about your own peace and your own sanity, because sometimes family drama is worse than friend drama. Because family drama is a little bit different because you share the same blood, you know what I'm saying, you're related and all this other stuff, and people put a whole lot of ties onto family. People put a whole lot of stuff on the family name. We're family, and family is supposed to always be close, or we're family, we're supposed to always have each other's back. But at the end of the day, it feels as though, for me, sometimes it really don't matter, you know, that they're family. They always say you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. And at this point, that is a lie to me, because I chose my family. These friends that y'all hear me talk about all the time, all these people that people can't stand to hear me talk about, that's my family. That's the reason why I talk about them so much, because they are so much more like my family than my biological family. So when people tell you you can't pick your family, that's not true. And I think that with Angela, she just has to pull that cord. Ain't nobody saying that you can't have anything to do with your sister. Ain't nobody saying that you don't need to love your sister or anything like that. It may be a situation where you got to create those boundaries. And when you create those boundaries, I promise you, it's the most peaceful place for you to be in once you create your boundaries. Trust me, ever since I created my boundaries, you know, ever since I created my boundaries with some of my family members, it's been the most peaceful thing in the world. You know, it's been the most peaceful thing in the world, honestly. Like, and I always say I love my siblings, and I will always be there for them if they ever need me, but from over here. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. That's where I'm at with it. And I think that that's what Angela needs to do. And even Charles even told her that she needs to draw the line at this point. And when he says that she needs to draw the line, what I'm getting from it is that Charles is telling her that she needs to, you know, create boundaries with her family, because when you don't create boundaries, they give them the leeway to continue to treat you like shit. And nobody wants to be treated like shit by their families. Nobody wants to. And I think that once you're treated like shit by your family members, that's the worst feeling in the world, because baby, you're supposed to be my family. I'm supposed to love you unconditionally. So why are you treating me like shit? You feel what I'm saying? So boundaries are the best. It don't matter what kind of relationship it is. I've had to set boundaries with my mama. I've set boundaries with my dad, because when my dad would try to talk to me about not speaking to my siblings, or not speaking to my grandmother, or not speaking to my aunt, or not speaking to my first cousin, he always would try to say something to me about it. And I said, listen, I love you, Father. I love you to death. But however, if you can't respect the fact that I don't want to have nothing to do with them, we won't have a relationship. And I left it at that. Respect my choices. I choose peace over anything. And if it ain't serving my peace, then I'm not choosing it. So I set that boundary. Just like I set those boundaries with some of my siblings. That boundary is set. Just like I set some of those boundaries with my friends. Some of my friends. I set those boundaries. So at the end of the day, boundaries need to be set with certain friendships or certain relationships, no matter how much you love them. Sometimes you got to love people from a distance, no matter who they are to you. And I said all that to say, um, that's what Angela is at right now. She got her own family, her own husband, all that other stuff. And just like, look at what Harold just said. Okay. You have people like Angela who will put up with dysfunctional or toxic blood family relationships so they don't feel like they're betraying their relatives. And I promise you, that's exactly how it used to be for me in the past, because these were my blood relationships. I never wanted to set no boundaries, never wanted to say anything, always kept my feelings to myself, you know, didn't want to rock the boat or anything like that, because I didn't want to hurt them. Although they were hurting me and they didn't give a damn about hurting me, I didn't want to hurt them and I didn't want to betray them, although they've done tons of things to betray me. So that was the place that I was at. But once you get over that, and once you get up in age at times, because baby, I'm 36. I'm not going to keep on doing the same things that I was doing when I was 24, 25, and 26. Once you get up in age, and I'm knocking on, I'm like 4 houses down from 40, ain't no way in hell I'm going to continue to keep on doing the same stuff, keep on doing this, keep on doing that, keep on doing the same things that kept me unhappy. So with that being said, Angela, You got to stand up for yourself, and you have to learn that, yeah, I love my sister, but I got to set a boundary here. Because if I don't, we will never have any form of a relationship. You don't want to get it to a point to where you don't want to have not a piece of a relationship with your sister. My mama don't have a piece of a relationship with her own mom or her father. Honestly, my mama don't talk to none of her relatives. She only talks to one aunt, one cousin, and all three of her kids. That's all my mama has. She don't talk to none of her cousins anymore. Most of her, all her aunts are dead except for one, and the only two people that's left is her mom, who she don't talk to, and her aunt. That's all she got. And that's because she had to set those boundaries and protect her own peace. So, Angela, you got to do that. Listen, I told y'all that tonight we're going to get a little bit deep. And, I'm here to review the show, but I'm also here to give you guys a little bit of life experiences and things like that. That's what I'm here to do. And I hope you guys do not mind it. Like I told y'all before, it's like sometimes people don't like it when I go into my own experiences on reviews, because they only here to get the reviews. But I'm here. So many things are so relatable on this episode that I feel like you guys could take a lot from what I'm saying. So let's go ahead and get into the next scene of the day, and that's Shamia and Cynthia. Now, Cynthia and Shamia met up for drinks and food, and they discussed what happened at Portia's Pamper Portia event, right? So Shamia felt blindsided by this whole situation, and she felt hurt by Portia questioning her and how disheartening it was. But I feel like, yes, you have every right to feel blindsided. And yes, you feel some type of way about Portia questioning you in your relationship. But what you got to understand is this, Shamia. You had a conversation with two people that you don't really fuck with like that, or she don't really fuck with like that. And regardless of how they brought the conversation to you, you didn't even have to answer those questions. And I honestly feel like at the end of the day, although all of the things that y'all discussed in that particular conversation, all that stuff already happened. We've already seen it. The world has seen it already. So you probably feel like, well, this ain't really nothing to talk about, really. We already discussed this. Yes, this probably hurt my feelings back then, or this hurt my feelings back then, or whatever. That wasn't the right person or the people for you to talk to. And I love Drew and I like Angela, but those two people were not people for you to be talking to. They don't like you like that. You don't really like them like that. They don't like Portia like that. Portia don't really care for them like that. She definitely don't like Drew, and she got a frenemy relationship with Angela. So why would you feel like it was needed for you to even be talking to them about your relationship or anything like that? And then for you to say pinky swear, that means you knew you shouldn't have been talking about it with them. So I feel like at this point, regardless of how blindsided you felt or how disheartening it was to hear the things that Portia said, you have to take a little bit of accountability for the part that you played in this particular situation, because you're not all the way innocent in this either. And I know that Portia's not innocent at all. And we all know that Portia ain't been no good friend to you, ain't been no genuine person to you at all, in the least bit at all. But at the end of the day, I feel like Shamia is playing a part in this situation as well. You know what I mean? Because of the way that she chose to go about it. Shamia says that the conversation didn't happen the way that Angela said it did. But that's the reason why you never should have had a conversation with her at all. You shouldn't have had no conversation with Angela and Drew at all. If anything, if you was going to have a conversation with somebody on this show about said situation, Cynthia would have been the best person. You have a friendship with Cynthia outside the show. I follow you, Shamia. I follow Cynthia on Instagram. Y'all have a relationship. I've seen y'all hang out, all that. Like, y'all have a relationship. That's somebody that you and Portia have in common is Cynthia. So if you wanted to discuss those things, you could have discussed that shit with Cynthia. Why are you talking to Angela and Drew about this shit? You feel what I'm saying? She says that the group feels that Portia isn't supportive and the stuff does hurt her, and she downplays the hurt. And the group is only saying what the rest of us have been saying. Portia isn't supportive of you. Portia never really been your real friend based off of her actions on the show. And we are aware that the things that she does hurt you at times. We do get that. Like 100%. We understand that. But you kind of bring it on yourself when you downplay the hurt that you feel. And I'm telling you this because, as I said on my last video, I have a friend right now that has done some questionable things to me back home, has done some questionable things to me. Most things that they've done to me, most people, most sane people would never forgive them for it. They would never be friends with them. But me being soft-hearted Scotty, me trying to salvage the past and the history and the fact that we've been friends since you was 14 and I was 17 years old. I always looked at you like a little brother and all this other stuff. But despite the fact that you didn't give a fuck about the friendship and the history and how we loved each other and all this other stuff, I'm still trying to salvage it because I love you. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm downplaying my own feelings, and I see you constantly doing things that rubs me the wrong way. And it's kind of like I'm bringing it upon myself because I know that there's things that you do that's not really trustworthy, and I'm looking at you with the side eye. But while I'm looking at you with a side eye, I need to look at myself with that same side eye, because why am I still having you around me when I know I don't trust you? And why am I sitting here, hurting my own self when I know that I'm not particularly comfortable with the things that have transpired? So that's what I mean by Shamia kind of brings it upon herself, because if you continuously sweep certain things under the rug, when you continuously, downplay your real feelings about a situation, it's never going to be a good situation once it finally comes out. It's never going to come out right because you've buried those feelings for quite some time. You knew that you was never over the situation with Portia not coming to your wedding in Kenya. You knew that. So you should have been said that a long time ago. And I feel like, yeah, y'all talked about it, but I don't really think that you have really said all of how you felt about it. Yes, you felt some kind of way with Phaedra and how Portia sat there and allowed Phaedra to say those things about you in front of 4 million people. You feel what I'm saying? Yes, that probably hurt your feelings. And yes, y'all probably discussed it and moved on. But I'm sure that you didn't get everything out, because if you did get everything out, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And she already said that she's a people pleaser, and being a people pleaser is a bad thing to be. I'm still trying to grow out of being a people pleaser. As I just said already, Shamia and Portia's friendship is like one of my friendships with one of my homeboys back home. They doing crazy shit to you, but you love them so much, and you think about the history and you see all the things that has transpired, and you want to continue to keep them in your life because you love them so much. And it's kind of like, this is why you have to communicate your feelings. You have to communicate your feelings. If something hurts you, you have to communicate those feelings. This is some of those things that me and Josiah will be talking about on our new podcast that we have coming out later this year called Bestie Chat. We'll be talking about all those things on our podcast. But yeah, no, you got to say what you feel. Let me see. People please dropping out the class to say people pleasing tends to come from childhood and unresolved trauma. Trust me, I know exactly, y'all, because that's where mine came from. Childhood trauma, because I was bullied and I didn't really have no friends like that. Anytime I got a friend, I did everything I possibly could to keep that friend around me. Even when I knew that they were doing foul shit to me, I would keep them around. My mama would tell me, that's not your friend. If they was your friend, they wouldn't be treating you like that. If they was your friend, they wouldn't be doing you like that. But I always make excuses and be like, no, that's my friend. I love them. but shit on me every chance they get. Was times where I would cry in high school about certain friends. I'll never forget this, y'all. And I know this ain't got nothing to do with the show, but um, I'll never forget this when I was in high school. Um, I was friends with this boy. We had been friends since the 8th grade. No, 7th grade. And it's like, soon as we got to the 9th grade, he flipped on me because everybody was calling me gay. So I guess because everybody was calling me gay, him and our other friend chose not to be around me no more. And one day I just noticed I would call him and he wouldn't answer the phone. I did it for days. Like it'll like somebody pick up the phone, but then they'll hang up. I was calling him every day and he would not answer the phone no more for me. And one day I came to school and I seen him in the gym. So I walked up to him and I was like, hey, come up here for a second. He looked at me and turned around and kept on sitting at the bottom of that damn the bottom of them bleachers. And I'm like, what? And then the other friend did the same thing. Both of them did it to me at the same time. And out of all, it was a group of 4. And out of 3 of them, only one stuck around, and they're still around today. They didn't want to be my friend because people said I was gay. That hurt my feelings so bad. And I longed for for the friendship. I wanted them to be my friends so bad because we were friends since the 7th grade, and here we are. As soon as we get to high school, now y'all want to flip on me. So it was just like anytime I would get a friend, I would always do whatever I could to just keep them around. Although I knew what they did to me was fucked up, I would just keep them around. That shit hurt. So I relate to Shamia in certain ways, but the difference between me and Shamia is that I'm starting to come up out of that. You know what I mean? Like at this point, I really don't care about, you know, friends unless I know that you're genuinely my friend. Like if you're showing me that you are my friend and you're showing me the right friends, then whatever. But I'm not gonna keep nobody around that's constantly playing in my face. And that's exactly what's going on with Shami and Portia. But neither one of them wants to be accountable for the parts that they play in this situation, in my opinion. Um, Cynthia says that the dynamic between Shamia and Portia reminds her of the dynamic between Nene and Cynthia. And I can agree with that too. Um, I do think that a lot of times when Nene will fall out with Cynthia, Nene will go out of her way to bash Cynthia. In my opinion, she'll go out of her way to bash her. Interviews, bashing her. Confessionals, bashing her. She'll go out of her way. Cynthia really wouldn't bash her like that. You know what I mean? Like Cynthia wouldn't bash her. That reminds me of my relationship with the YouTuber that I used to be friends with a long time ago. I, for one, never bashed him. But I'm pretty sure that they have shaded me in the past, said negative things about me in the past, but I've never did that to them. So for me, it's like, regardless of where we are, if we were friends at one point in time, then that's just what the fuck it was. We were friends at that time. You know what I mean? So I get what Nene and Cynthia are saying. Let me see where we at. Then Shamia brought up the fact that Diane and Mama Morton were friends at one point in time, and despite what happened, despite what happened between them, that never came between their friendship. And the producers asked, why did Mama Morton and Mama Diane fall out? Well, I got some tea on it. Somebody told me what really happened between them, but I ain't gonna say that because I don't think I want to go there. And it's all alleged tea, and I don't want to put out no alleged tea on somebody's mama but somebody told me something about them. And even on Twitter, somebody had said something on Twitter. They were saying, if Portia gonna be mad at Shamia, she may as well be mad at the whole Atlanta, because the Atlanta people talk, and Diane ain't no better than Portia. So when I saw somebody say that on Twitter, I was like, ooh, child. So yeah, I ain't going there. But I don't think that Shamia should have said that, though, because then that opens up question marks about what actually happened between Portia mama and her mama. Now inquiring minds want to know what happened. And even the people in my chat is asking me what happened. Like I told y'all, I don't know if this shit true or not, so I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna say it, because then people gonna be mad with me. I can see the comments now. People gonna be mad with me. Oh, you messy motherfucker. You're so messy. You gay men are so messy. Y'all are messy. Baby, I ain't got time for it, honey. I ain't got time for it, honey. Okay. Let me see what T said. If they said Mama Morton mad at her ass Diane for trying to sleep with her man, then I believe it. Going back in the bushes. Oh my God, T, I cannot. They have been talking on Twitter. They definitely have now. They definitely have. Shamia low-key want to tell it, but she's afraid of backlash from the people who really care about telling friends business when it's Portia. So she need to go in and let have, though, in my opinion. Right. A messy YouTuber would spill that tea behind a paywall, Scotty. Look at you giving me ideas. Oh my God. But hey, it is what it is. But anyway, why bring it up what you heard? Just say allegedly. Because I can. Shit. All I said was that people talk. That's all I said. But anyway, moving on. Cynthia, Portia, and Angela, they go bowling. And then she starts talking about the struggles that she's having with PJ, right? So then, and that's another thing. Thank you for bringing that up before we get into that scene. So this is the scene that Portia was mad about. If she was mad about that scene, then I don't even understand what the fuck she mad about. Because I was sitting up here thinking that Shamia was like just going in on her mama. And no, that's not what she did. Absolutely not. So it is what it is. Absolutely not. That's not what it was. So if she mad about that comment, then I don't know what's wrong with her. Please do not do no expose on Miss Diane. We don't need that energy on this channel. Trust me, I ain't saying nothing. I'll wait till some bloggers say it, then I say it. Hey, Scotty Mods in chat. I forgot to say hello when I came to live. How you doing? I'm confused because Shamia said the exact same thing to Portia in this episode. Exactly. So what? Child. Anyway, but Cynthia, Portia, and Angela, shout out to the 500 people that's in the building. They go bowling. Then she starts talking about the struggles with PJ. And she says that PJ is attached to her again because now she's back out working again or whatever, right? So then she says that, PJ was asking about Pop Pop. Where's Pop Pop at? Where's Pop Pop? And I got a feeling that she said that she asked about Pop Pop a couple of episodes ago, if I'm not mistaken. Then she said that PJ asked about Pop Pop, a while back, like a couple of weeks ago, and we was all saying she wasn't asking about that man. She don't know that man. Like that's what we were all saying back then. But I could have sworn she said something about the Pop Pop shit a while ago. But my thing is this: she called him Pop Pop because she didn't think that man was her stepdaddy. She called him Pop Pop because she probably thought that was her granddad or something. That's probably why she called him Pop Pop. But that's a whole nother story for another day. Where we at? So she says that she's not really trying to replace anybody in her life or anything like that. And she just feels like everybody thinks that she's strong all the time. And this is her time to not be. At the end of the day, I do think that I don't know. Cynthia does tell Portia that she doesn't have to be strong all the time, which that is something that you don't have to do, which is something that I'm trying to learn not to do. You know, when you're the person that everybody looks to be strong, you definitely feel as though, you know, that's putting a lot of that's a big title to have on you to be the strong one in any situation. So I kind of understand that, but you know, yeah. Portia says, you know, they start talking about Shamia, and Portia says that she's not strong right now, and she really doesn't have the bandwidth to deal with any more drama. She already dealing with marital drama. She don't want to deal with sister drama right about now, right? So then Cynthia and Angela thinks that they need a little bit of space and time. She says she's already divorcing Simon, but she doesn't want to divorce Shamia, right? So it is what it is. Let me see. Oh, okay. But yeah, that's just the basis of the situation. So we get into Drew. Now, I felt for Drew this episode. No lie. I felt um I felt for Drew. And I felt bad for her. Especially now with everything that's going on with Ralph. Now, a lot of people were saying that Drew, if you read Drew's divorce documents, it took a left turn. I haven't seen her divorce documents. I haven't even watched anybody's videos about those divorce documents, to be quite honest. So I really don't have no opinion on these divorce documents in the least bit because I ain't seen them. But I'm just still, so I'm only going by what I'm looking at right now. I feel for Drew. She called her mama and she says that he's trying to get her lawyer removed from the case. And now a motion is filed against Ralph. And now he wants 50% of her company that she had before she met him. Then she says that she doesn't know the details of his finances. And even at one point in time, he locked her outside of her house. My thing with Drew is this. If you know that if you're married to a person, how come you don't know nothing about their finances? Like, I get it. Y'all got separate accounts, but as a married couple, you feel what I'm saying? What's really going on here? How could you not know? Y'all don't talk about finances with one another. I will feel like there's something for y'all to talk about, honestly. Hi, Scotty and Chad. I've been listening for a while and I've really grown to love your content. I'm saying hi for the first time. Thank you, Brooklyn Rose. Scotty Gang, welcome Brooklyn Rose into the Scotty Gang, honey. She said it's her first time saying hi. She's been listening to me for a while, honey. And she's saying, and she loving my content. And you know, thank you for showing up and showing out, honey. I really do appreciate that. But, you know, yeah, like, why don't you know anything about what he got going on financially? But he knows every little thing that you got going on financially. That's what I don't understand, and that's what I don't get, Drew. And I need for you to really explain it to me. I'm just saying, I'm just gonna need for you to explain it just a little bit because I don't get it at all. Like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't understand how you don't know. You know what I mean? Like, but then again, I mean, there's a lot of things that people do, even if you are married to them. There's a lot of things that they do behind your back that you probably never know about. I mean, I do believe in the fact that, you know, sometimes men are one way to you, but they're another way to other folks. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, but I do think that that's kind of messed up that he knows every little thing about her, but she don't know shit about him. That would drive me fucking crazy. So Angela, her mama LaMargaret arrives. LaMargaret got another house, and you know, Angela feels a way about it. And you know, because she feels like she always wanted to live the life where she can take care of her mother and do things for her that her mother did for her. But now that she didn't got another house, she feel like that's been taken away from her. But in the same breath, it lessened her responsibilities. She says her and her sister still don't talk. You know, she feels like, you know, her mama don't never be having her back. And I kind of feel like she wasn't having her back. You know, like, she might be one of the mamas that coddle certain siblings. You feel what I mean? Like, just like Gloria did on Queens of R&B, how she favored Latasha over Tamika. You feel what I'm saying? Um, Margaret was saying that she loves Charles, even though they beefing and even though he's close to the same age she is. Shade. But then as the episode went on, I saw on Twitter that they were saying that Angela's mother passed away. So I was like, oh, that's crazy. So all of my love and condolences go to Angela and her family with her mom and stuff like that. I don't know how she passed and stuff like that, but yeah, I don't know. But shout out to her. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all do. We gonna get into Kelly. Now, Kelly is taking Chloe on a driving lesson. They discuss the Sandy Springs location. They talk about what kind of car Kelly what kind of car Chloe wants, and Chloe wants a car, like a BMW. And she said, I don't think you need a BMW. You cannot afford a BMW. Then Chloe like, but you can afford a BMW. And then she was like, even if you do get the car, you have to be responsible for the upkeep. And then that is when Chloe said, I already know what I got to do. I got to help you with the restaurant. So Chloe wants to be involved in doing things with the restaurant. They discussed the Sandy Springs location, how it was coming about. And she wants her daughter to help her hire people. But your daughter's still a teenager. So how the hell will she know what goes into working for a business right now? Okay. So then we're going to get into Drew once again. Now, as T would call her, Mother Superior arrives, right? Drew says it's been 2 years since they filed for divorce, and every single year it gets worse and worse with every single year. And she says that at this point she's at war with Ralph to the point to where she may have to find another lawyer. But she says that they're better co-parents than they are a married couple. And my thing is this: I'm starting to believe that Drew is pretty much still trying to protect Ralph even in this moment. Because if I don't really even because if y'all was doing good as co-parents, y'all wouldn't even be in the predicament that y'all in. And that's just me being honest. I really don't think that if y'all were doing that well with co-parenting, y'all would not be in this situation. I'm just saying. So then Mother Superior says if Ralph had any compassion, he wouldn't put Drew through the things that he's putting her through. And I definitely agree with what Mother Superior said. She basically said, if he really fuck with you like that, if he really cared for you the way that you think he does, then it's kind of like he wouldn't be doing it to you right now. She says that she was like, what do you say to Ralph? She said, well, I definitely told Ralph that the court order was very stupid. I didn't think that it made any sense the way that y'all living, like you living upstairs, he living downstairs. That don't make any sense to me. Baby girl, it really don't make sense to nobody if you really ask me, Mother Superior. It really, don't make any, none of that makes sense. She says that, and the kids are out of control. They don't even listen to nothing that I say at this particular moment. And when she says that the kids are out of control, that's when Drew begins to cry, and she feels some type of way after Mother Superior says that to her. She says that to Drew, and Drew cries because she didn't realize that her children were changing and she feels like she failed them. But I don't think that Mother Superior was saying that to her to hurt her feelings. But what she was doing was she was just calling it as she's seeing it. You're going through a divorce. Kids do change when their parents are going through a divorce like that. Like that does affect the kids quite a bit. Like it really does. So this ain't nothing new. And don't say that you failed. You know, I don't think that you fail. I just think that you're going through a lot. And sometimes when kids see things, they rebel, and it becomes a whole lot, and there's really no telling what those kids have seen in that house. Because sometimes when you're going through something like that, your kids can sometimes grow resentment towards you and things like that. I know I went through that when my mama was married to my stepfather, and he was like physically abusive, mentally abusive, and things like that. Put his hands on every single person in the house. And I grew resentment for my mom, which I revealed to her when we went to therapy a couple of years ago, that I grew resentment towards her because I felt like, you know, what this man is doing is wrong, but yet we're still dealing with the bullshit. And it took us forever to get away from that. But this is why I have my thoughts and my opinions on DV, because I don't like when people speak on DV because they don't understand how hard it is for a person to leave because they've been controlled and, you know, set up to believe that that's all they really got. You know what I mean? So yeah, sometimes kids do change, and I think that's what happened with my brother as well. Because, you know, my brother was and he still is though, but when he was growing up, he was like this sweet, you know, we thought he was gonna be a goofy, you know, growing up. And what I mean by goofy, we thought he was gonna be a nerd growing up, which I wouldn't give a fuck if he was a nerd, or I don't give a damn what he would be. That was still gonna be my baby. And I think, and he loved his dad so much, but I've known his dad way longer than him, and I've seen way worse than what he did. So I've always said that when he got to be a teenager, he was going to see his dad for who he really was. And once he saw his dad for who he really was as a teenager, my baby brother changed. So it's kind of like, yes, when they see things and then the divorce happens and the separation starts, they do tend to change. They do tend to rebel. Sometimes they go through emotional issues because a lot of times, because I think they withdrew because she's going through so much and it's not a purpose. She's not doing this purpose on purpose at all. But I think that because she's so wrapped up in her own emotions, dealing with this divorce, that she don't really see how it's affecting the kids. And a lot of the times they don't think that it's affecting the kids because the kids don't really be showing it sometimes. Like, we be thinking that kids are dumb, or not really just dumb. We think that kids are not noticing, but they notice everything. We all been kids before. We notice and we see everything that the parents think that we're not noticing and that we're not seeing. So they've definitely seeing things. They're definitely harboring feelings. And because they're kids, they don't know how to address them and they don't know how to say anything about it. So that's just what I see with the situation. You know, I wonder if that makes sense to y'all or not. So we're gonna move on to Shamia and Portia, because this was the scene at the very end. So they sit down to eat and, you know, have drinks and have this discussion because it seems like it's gonna be a hard one, and it looks like it's already uncomfortable. So Shamia first apologizes to Portia for having that conversation with the other girls without even talking to her about it. So she apologizes to her for that. But then Shamia starts bringing up uh what is it? Shamia starts bringing up the things that hurt her. And then Portia starts doing it. And then Shamia was like, "Am I boring you or whatever?" In that moment, I would have been over that, the whole conversation. I'm not even gonna tell y'all no lies. I would have been over that whole conversation the moment she did that, because that's a sign of you dismissing me. Like, you're flat out dismissing me. Like, you're not even trying to hear what I gotta say. You're dismissing whatever we're talking about, all this shit that we're discussing. You're dismissing us right now. What is missing me in this moment? You're not trying to hear what I'm talking about. You're not trying to hear about it. We're sitting here having a conversation because we want to have it resolved, and you're dismissing me. One thing that I don't like about people, I do not like to be dismissed when I'm trying to have a conversation. And looking and watching this, and we all been coming down on Shamia about why she didn't say this, or why she didn't do this, or why she don't never speak up, or why she being a punk, or why she being a pussy out, and all this other shit. This is why. This is why. Now I see why she doesn't feel comfortable talking to Portia about how she really feels about this whole little situation. This is the reason why. She don't feel comfortable because that girl won't allow her to speak. She don't feel comfortable because that girl won't allow her to have no feelings about the situation. This is why she don't talk to her. This is why she can't talk to her, because of that. This is why she can't. This is why. When you know how your friend is, sometimes you choose not to even go there because you feel like, oh my God, this is how they gonna be. Like this whatever, this is how it's gonna be. Like I can't talk. But still, regardless of how they are or what you think they're gonna do, I definitely feel like you still should say it. And that goes for me, and that goes for everybody else. When you really feel like that, you know what I mean? That's just what it is. Like, you need to just say that. But I get how you just keep your feelings to yourself to avoid confrontation. That's what I think this is. But at the same time, Shamia, you got to take accountability for allowing yourself to be treated this way by somebody. It's either you're going to step up to the plate and say what's on your mind, or you're going to end this relationship. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's either one or the other. You're either going to say what's on your mind, say how you feel, or just sit there and just don't deal with it at all. Don't talk about it. Don't say whatever. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's what I think, because you're not doing yourself any favors by keeping your mouth shut about this whole thing. You feel what I'm saying? So it is what it is. That's what I think. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Where we at here? Hold on, y'all. Let me get. Boom. There you go. Don't worry, I took care of that. But anyway, um, where was I at? Okay, so then Shamia says that she wants resolve in this relationship and she wants to possibly save the friendship. And then Portia was like, possibly? And then that's what she said, possibly. And then Shamia said, well, I'm trying to talk to you and you feel, and I feel like you're dismissing me. Like stop dismissing me. And then that's when Shamia was like, how do you think I felt when you told me the things that Miss Diane said about me, how I need to be watched and I'm this and I'm that. Like, why would you even tell me that your mama said that? Now, let me tell y'all, I absolutely agree with Shamia when it come down to that. Question: have you ever had a friend that came back and told you what they mama said about you? I'm asking y'all that before I even continue on with my point. Have you ever had a friend tell you something that they mama said about you? So I see a lot of no's in here, and that's a good thing. Let me tell y'all, one of my friends went back and told me what they mama said about me. Definitely. I think it had something to do with I think I got into a fight or something. Um and they didn't want this particular person around me and I was a bad influence or whatever. And this friend came back and told me that they mama said all this shit about me. Oh, he a bad influence. He out here fighting and all this other stuff. Why you around him and all this other stuff? But then wonder why I didn't want to be around a family like that. It was so crazy. It was so crazy. And I looked at them and I was like, why would you tell me something like that? You feel what I mean? And I even said it to them. I said, look, don't tell me nothing else your mama said. Because the next time you tell me something your mama said, it's gonna be fuck you and your fucking mama. If you tell me anything else your mama said about me, it's fuck you and her. Don't tell me shit else she said, because you ain't gonna like me no more. Why tell me that? So now when I see your mama, I got feelings. Now I got feelings towards your mama because you didn't tell me what your mama said. It's crazy. Mm-mm. I wouldn't even repeat that at all. Whatever your mama tell you, why would you tell your friend that? That is the craziest shit. Definitely experienced that, but the ex-friend is the one that's currently in jail. I would say I'm doing better than them. Wow. They were waiting to say something about exactly. I would not feel comfortable around them after that. It wasn't completely the same. I can say that. It took me a long time to get over that. Let me see. Where we at? So Shamia breaks the fourth wall and she said, I want us to have the same bond that we have off camera, on camera. And you were saying shit like they gotta pay me more money for this. So she was basically saying, I want the real Portia off camera, on camera. I want the same Portia that I get when we're not on camera. I want to get the same Portia that I get when we're not filming. She pretty much put Portia on blast when she broke that fourth wall. That's pretty much what happened. She broke that down fourth wall and pretty much put it out there that, girl, you've been faking it for the cameras, you've been playing me for the cameras, and I'm tired of you playing me for the cameras. Like, I felt like that is probably the most honest that Shamia was in this conversation. I honestly feel like that. That was the honest, like the most honest that girl could have ever been in that conversation. And one thing about it, a lot of people were saying, I might not be feeling her right now. I may not be feeling Shamir right now, but I'm here for this energy, which I was here for it too. Put her ass on blast. Portia walked away and cried with no tears coming down her face or anything like that, honey. She just walked away and pretended like she cried. Shamia told Portia what she needs from her, and Portia says that she doesn't want to break up with Shamia. I don't think that anything really got resolved in that conversation. I really don't, because I don't think that Shamia really got everything off her chest. I think that Portia dismissed her so she couldn't get everything off her chest. I do think that there's a lot of accountability to go around for both ends. I think that Portia should be held accountable for being a sucky friend, but I also think that Shamia should hold herself accountable for, you know, talking to other people about their issues and also not nipping it in the bud a long time ago. Don't let history fuck your mind up, or childhood trauma fuck your mind up and allow you to keep on allowing people to treat you like dirt. Because when people see that you are gonna allow that to happen, they're gonna continue to walk all over you. I know that for a fact. So don't do that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, don't continuously allow people to step all over you, because it's never a good feeling when someone that you love, someone that you consider a best friend, does that to you. It's never a good thing. I promise you that it's not. However, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I actually really feel like this is probably my best review that I've done this entire season. You know, I do be having some reviews that are my favorites, and then I be having reviews that I don't really like. But I love this one. You know, although I wasn't my crazy, loud, funny Scotty today, I still feel like I gave you guys a good show. You know what I mean? And I even ignored some negativity that was in the comments tonight. Like, I really feel like I did my just due today. So I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And we're about to go ahead and get up out of here. But be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, share this video, and also click on the notification bell so you could be notified whenever a video drops. And if you want to follow me on any form of social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, and my TikTok will be down below. With that being said, you guys, your boys up out of here. Shout out to the 600 people that was in the building. Shout out to my moderators that were here: Harold, Patches, Payne, Sharice, Q, Norris. I think I said Sharice already. Feisty, Catherine, Brandon, Tracy. I hope I didn't forget nobody. I said what I said, and I think that's everybody. I think this is all the moderators. If I forgot your name, I'm sorry. Charge it to my mind, not my heart. But shout out to all of you guys. I really, really appreciate it, you guys. But anyway, I'm out of here, and I will talk to you guys later.
On some whole shit. What happened to the Zeus fame? Then Bobby made you change your name. For a show, still searching for a ring. Pray these hoes find better days. Cut off everybody. Don't trust nobody. Play with everybody. Don't have nobody. Cut off everybody. Don't trust nobody. Play with everybody. Don't have nobody. Nobody. Nigga never was a real one. Copping please, spreading lies. What you hiding from? All these shows just an extra.
Little dead style twerking on shit like bad bitch, munch it up, cock goblin. Slapping ass on this dick, cock goblin. Gobble up his dick, bitch a cock goblin. Fuck him in his face, bitch a cock goblin. Attitude bad, but I'm better. Ass poke out just fatter.